So took the family to the beach in Galveston, Texas, and being that we're from Southern California, going to the beach is just a must every summer. Like, how could you not go to the beach? So I figured I'd make a fun little video showing the gear that I brought with me on the trip. You ready? Oh, here you go. Top down shot. Oh, 3, 2. Ooh. Ooh. If anything else, you just gotta appreciate the organization of this bag. Now this video is sponsored by Anker, and during the trip, I actually brought with me the Anker Nano. It's this tiny little power charger over here. I mean, look at it, look how small that is. But this was the only charger that I brought with me on the trip, and it's pretty dang awesome. The Anker Nano can charge my iPhone up to 3 times faster than the original Apple 5-watt charger, which was actually pretty helpful on the trip because there are often times where we'd go to the beach, then go back to the Airbnb, then we go into town, then go back to the Airbnb. So every time we went back to the Airbnb, I would just plug in my iPhone to the Anker Nano, charge it for like 15 minutes, and it's good for the rest of the day. And if you do charge it for 15 minutes, then you can listen to music for up to 8 hours or even play games for an hour and a half, which is ridiculous, especially coming from a tiny little charger. It's even half the size than the Apple 20-watt charger, and so half the size, charges 3 times faster. Like this thing is crazy. Now, it's not just iPhones that you can charge. If you have a device that has a USB-C port, you can charge it with the Anker Nano, which is awesome. But what's really cool is that you can actually charge a MacBook Pro, an M1 MacBook Pro with the Anker Nano. You wanna see? Here we go. I got my M1 MacBook Pro, put it right over here, get my USB-C cable. I'm gonna plug it in. I should probably show on the top-down camera. Now I'm gonna plug the Anker Nano to the wall. Be right back. And now I'm gonna plug it in to the MacBook Pro. And you should be able to hear that Apple chime. Ready? That's so crazy. You could charge an M1 MacBook Pro with the Anker Nano. That's nuts. So yeah, so it's definitely my favorite charger. I'm gonna bring it with me everywhere I go. And if you wanna check it out, then make sure to click the link down below. And huge thanks to Anker for sponsoring this video. All right, let's talk about the gear, shall we? First, you're probably wondering, what backpack am I using? Well, let me show you. This is actually my favorite travel bag ever. It's so good, and it's the Shimoda Explore 60. I'm not gonna review the backpack in this video. In fact, I don't think I've made a review video on this backpack yet. And so yeah, if you want me to review this backpack, then let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this backpack was great to pack on the trip. Was able to pack a few days worth of clothes as well as some gear. And I'm going to show you that gear right now. All right, let's make sure I line up my top-down shot with the bag. All right, here we go. Ooh, okay, all right, let's talk about the gear that I brought. Now, when I was packing, I didn't want to bring a lot, but now I'm looking at this, it feels like I brought a lot, but whatever. Okay, so first things first, camera. Of course, I brought with me my A7S III and the 16-35 Master lens. Like, this is my go-to setup for pretty much everything. I've been a huge fan of filming wide shots, and because of clear image zoom, I'm able to zoom in on my shot just a little bit more. And I wasn't expecting to vlog the entire time because, you know, I kind of wanted to hang out with my family. But if I ever did, then of course I'd want to use a wide-angle lens. And so yeah, this is my go-to setup, and I actually place it sideways like this over here, just because it's a lot easier to take out of your bag. I know a lot of camera bags, you can like store your camera this way. I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm a bigger fan of storing the camera this way because it's easier just to pull out. So that is my main camera. My mic of choice is of course the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. This mic is great. It's been a solid performer for a few years now. The only downside to this mic is the size. I mean, it's a pretty bulky mic. I mean, the audio quality sounds really good, which is why I brought this mic with me. And attached to the mic is this furry windscreen thing. There's like many names for it. Some people call it a dead cat, a raccoon, or a wombat. You can call it whatever you want, but this thing actually cuts down on that wind noise that you hear. So I just like leaving it attached to the microphone. But yeah, I'm actually looking for other mics, mics that are smaller than this, just because it just takes so much space in any of my camera bags. And so yeah, I'm actually looking at that Sony microphone that you can just attach to the hot shoe. That seems kind of cool, so I'll probably have to give that a shot. Of course, if you're bringing a camera, it's always a good idea to bring extra batteries, and I store those extra batteries right over here in this tiny little slot. This is a little battery wallet. It's the Nomadic Peter McKinnon battery wallet, and I bring at least 3 extra batteries with me, all fully charged. And the Sony Z batteries last all day, and so if I've 4 total batteries with me on the trip. That should be plenty fine. And so, yeah, I store my extra batteries in this wallet and I slip it right into here. Oh, also in this slot, I don't know if you see in the top end, also in this slot is a lens pen. You gotta bring some sort of cleaning tool to clean your lens or clean a filter because it can get dusty. And the last thing you want after coming home from a trip and after filming some footage and taking some photos, like it's such a huge bummer when you're playing back the footage and you see like dust and hair and all these particles in your shot and just nothing you can do about it. And so to prevent all that, at the very least, you gotta bring a lens pen. But yeah, a lens pen is an absolute necessary to bring on any trip. Right over here, I have this tiny little camera, the Insta360 Go 2. You guys remember that camera? It's a super tiny little action camera, and I didn't really use it during the trip, but I wanted to bring it with me just in case. But this camera is so small, it's like, why not bring it with you? You know, it's like nothing, and so yeah, brought that with me. Didn't use it at all, but yeah, decided to bring it with me. Just below that, I've got some ND filters, variable ND filters to be exact. These are the Polar Pro Peter McKinnon ND filters. I've got the 2 to 5 stop version, and I have the 6 to 9 stop version, just in case I needed to control the exposure of whatever I was shooting. Now, to be honest, I don't use the 6 to 9 stop version all that much. I mainly use the 2 to 5 stop version, and so if you're trying to figure out which variable ND filter to get, and you're looking at the Polar Pro filters, then I would start with the 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter. That goes right over here. Nice and neat. Let's move on over here. This is the drone that I brought with me, and the drone that I used for the footage you saw at the beginning of this video. Now the drone that I have is the Mavic Air 2S. Freaking love this drone. It's so good, and the video quality and photo quality that this drone produces is just unreal. And so yeah, it was just a no-brainer for me to bring this drone during the trip. Now I had the DJI Mini 2, and I was going to keep that drone and sell the Air 2S, but after bringing this drone with me and seeing the image quality from this drone, I had to let go of the Mini 2 and just stick with the Air 2S because it's that good. And the case that I'm using is from my friend Aldrin. He has a YouTube channel all about drones. He's like the expert when it comes to drones, so definitely follow him if you haven't already. But this is the case that I use. It's beautiful, it's great, it keeps my drone safe. I'm able to keep like extra accessories, like extra props in this case. So yeah, I store my Air 2S here. And then also over here is the controller for the Air 2S, which sits perfectly right here, and I can place my drone just over it, keeping it nice and safe. So there's that. Right next to that is a case of extra batteries for the drone because, you know, drones don't last that long, and if you want to drone for a while, then you got to bring extra batteries. And so I keep those batteries in this case right over here. And then last but not least, the small accessories in this small little corner. Of course, we talked about the Anker Nano, my favorite charger of all time. It's so good. But also on the trip, I brought with me my USB-C cable. I brought a lightning cable with the USB-C port at the end. And then of course, I brought my SD card reader to import my footage to my computer. Yeah, if I get that Sony mic, I might be able to pack that mic into one of these smaller slots and put something else here, like an extra lens. Huh, yeah, I think I might do that. All right, guys, well, that's it. Fun little video talking about gear. Always fun to talk about gear. And if you have any questions at all of any of the gear that we talked about in this video, then let me know in the comments below. Always have a good time talking about gear. All right, guys, well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thumbs up, subscribe, all those good things down below. And I'll see you in the next one.